Good morning. I just got in from my morning workout and I wanted to do a video today to teach you guys a little bit more about these wearable fitness tracking devices. What I went with is a Garmin. I'll tell you a little bit more why here in a bit, but there are plenty of different devices out on the market, and I actually think that you're going to see more and more of these as time goes on, as popularity goes up. Some of you guys may already have one. Some may have one and not know how to use it. So I want to cover a couple of the main topics that I found is interesting and that can really help make an impact in your overall health and recovery. So really, that's what the device is designed to do: is track recovery. So your body needs to rest and recover. There's different modes in the bodies, different nervous system functions, and so what we look at there is the autonomic nervous system, which is either rest and digest, where you're in a nice restful state. That's when your body's actually going to be healing. Or there's the other scenario, which is fight or flight, which your body, it will do all sorts of different things, from heart rate to shunt blood to your muscles from your organs. And there's a lot to know about the autonomic nervous system, but that's really the most valuable thing that this tool can really help with. So there's different metrics that this measures. Most notably, we have the heart rate itself and respiration. So it will start to track some of that stuff, calories that you burn both at rest and with activity, your stress levels. So that's a big thing. It will track intensity minutes. So every week your body should get so much training that is at a higher level, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. That's based off of your heart rate, and your body should get pushed up into these higher states for optimal function. And so the device will actually measure that. And then also a really important one is going to be sleep. So how do you sleep? It's going to look at REM sleep. It's going to look at deep sleep, light sleep, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. So really what it does is it takes all these metrics and it puts them together. This is the important thing here, into something called heart rate variability. And that's what the people who patented this technology, and it's actually not just them, heart rate variability has been measured for a long time, but going back to this autonomic nervous system, either sympathetic fight or flight or parasympathetic rest and digest, that is what this is actually able to measure at this point. So I'll do a talk. Look down below for a talk a little bit more about the autonomic nervous system. That deserves its own lecture, but really looking at the heart rate variability, essentially what it's doing. And I've talked to people. So it's really only the newest devices that have it's what's called a four. I don't want to call it 4-prong, but there's basically 4 little sensors on the inside of this guy, and only the newest ones have that, which can really get an accurate heart rate variability. And so what that does is it's going to measure if your heart beats 60 times in a minute, your heart's not going to simply beat on the second, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second. It may beat a millisecond too early, or not even too early, but earlier than the second mark, and then a little bit too late. So before you start to really look into, does it beat on the second, it's that variability. And what that actually is it's a window into our autonomic nervous system. So outside of that, there's plenty of science to explain more, but really being able to see what our autonomics are doing is extremely important, because what it does is the software is going to take and it's going to tell you, are you rested and ready for activity, or should you take that day and recover? And so myself, I've been guilty of this quite a bit. I've done double sessions plenty of times during the day where I go out and I do a morning workout, and then later that afternoon I do another workout. And there's days I get up and I'm just like, man, I feel lousy. This is actually extremely accurate in measuring the ability or where you're at during that day. And so some of the most, I talked about the sleep pattern. One of the most eye-opening things for me is sleep mixed with stress. So you'll get different screens on here, and it's actually on your phone is where you can pull up the software. And what you'll see is the hours of sleep, the REM sleep, things like that. And you might have a great night's sleep from that window, but then you look at your heart rate variability and you notice that your body was under stress. And so after you wear these guys for a while, and that is one of the things that people are turned off a little bit too, is the fact that if you really want an accurate reading, most of your recovery and most of your heart rate variability happens while you sleep. You actually have to wear it to bed. I'll go back to my point is that as you're sleeping, you may think you got a great night's sleep, but your stress level may be way up. And so some of the things that could set that off is stress through the day, things going on in your world where you are stressed out. You could be getting sick. This guy will actually see if you're starting to get sick in your body. Essentially what happens is your body can only allocate so much energy to one thing at a time. And so if you're trying to sleep, but your body's run down and getting sick, that will actually show up as stress. Another big one that was an eye-opener for me is alcohol. So you'll have a couple drinks. I've seen it all the time where doctors say, a few drinks before bed can significantly disrupt your sleep, and it is absolutely true. You'll see you're sleeping, but your stress level is way up because your liver is having to detoxify. And there's times where people will actually have that stress level go up until like say 4 a.m, and they're getting up at 6, and that's when their restful sleep actually starts. And you can actually see that right on the graph. And so it essentially it equates to basically getting 2 hours of sleep. And you wake up and people think, oh, okay, well, I'm hungover today. And really what I'm starting to see more of is that is actually sleep deprivation. So if you've ever driven across the country and not gotten the sleep that you should have gotten, you feel lousy, your skin itches, stuff like that, that's essentially what you start to feel like, especially with back-to-back nights of either alcohol consumption or heavy stress, things of that nature. So it really does help you monitor that. There's been certain days where I've said, hey, I've been pushing it too hard, either training or maybe too much fun on the weekends. And I say, I need to take today off and rest. That's going to let your body heal. It's going to give you better results, not only from your workouts, but through daily life. And so very, very valuable tool. The technology is extremely reliable. Harvard has a lot of studies. They've gone through a group called Whoop, essentially. The guy that developed the technology is in multiple different devices. So it's in the Garmin. I went with this one because this is more for your athlete. It's going to give you, it's not going to give you as much as far as voice texting. You can get text messages through here, but you're going to get the GPS is very good on this. The software for what I was talking about, your lifestyle monitoring is going to be top notch. And then just the ability to monitor more health related stuff. Your newest Apple Watch will have it. That's going to give you more as far as being able to voice text and take phone calls, whatnot. And then Whoop is probably the pioneer in this, and then they even have the Oura Ring. So Whoop's software is very good. It's going to look at things like how do drinks affect you, how do certain foods affect you. The Oura Ring is probably the same. Those guys, the software on your phone, it actually is a monthly membership, so I think you're paying about $30 a month. With the Garmin, it's free. That's another benefit. But what I would like to do is just encourage people to get this. I got one of these. I got this one here for like $150 on Amazon, and it's honestly been a life changer. So wanted to get that information out. One other big one that I want to kind of spread the thought for is I talked about how if you don't get a restful night's sleep and you're in this stress state, what I've also through other study, there's brainwave mapping. And so your brain actually, there's alpha waves, beta waves, theta waves, and delta waves. And so your body actually has to fall into some of these different wave patterns to get restful sleep. And so that's through my study there, I've started to really see an overlap. So I am going to do a video on brainwave, and there are some different devices. There's one called ClearMind, which actually measures where your brain is throughout the day, so you can start to look at strengthening your brain waves. This is something that's usually achieved through meditation. There's also one called Brain Tap. We use that in the office, and it's remarkable how one session on there, it's called binaural beats, will actually stimulate. It gets you almost into a meditative state where you start pushing different brain waves, and it gets you out of this beta wave where you feel like you're stressed and got to get stuff done into a resting, relaxed state. But all this stuff overlaps. Your body has a whole lot of overlap as far as these different systems go. And I think that the wearable devices, 100%, they are worth looking into. They are reliable. I've been extremely impressed with this, and you can learn a lot about how your body is functioning. All right, guys, till next time, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.